and welcome to Mo's World, the baseball podcast. Yep, another baseball podcast. Here, we talk about baseball like a few friends sitting at the bar. We welcome your input and look forward to your comments. In our 9th episode of Season 3, we will talk about the first 30 days of the season. Is it too early to panic for some teams? We've had a pretty exciting start of the season. Where do we begin? All right, let's start with reviewing the standings and any surprises about your team. Well, starting with the American League East, it's been pretty competitive. And I don't think there's been a lot of surprise besides, well, Baltimore has started off much better than last year, right? That's obvious. But they're still not clicking offensively, right? Obviously, we all know about the Red Sox and their shit play. And the Blue Jays, what the hell? Their defense looks like shit this year. But they stay. The Tampa Bay Rays. That's the big surprise to me right now is the Tampa Bay Rays. They stay competitive, and it's still a shame they do not have a fan base that appreciates the tenacity that they have. The Yankees are shown a very surprising pitching, but they really do still have a shit bullpen. It's just been hidden by the fact that they're getting a lot of 7, 8 plus innings this year and a lot of timely hitting at this point. Their bullpen is almost as bad as last year, but with different names. Now, would it surprise you if you didn't realize the Yankees are number 1 in the major leagues in ERA? For their starting pitchers, they're at 2.74 earned run average. An American League team with an ERA lower than a National League team? Well, that doesn't really make a difference anymore with the DH now in both leagues. That used to be a difference, But they're tied with the Dodgers at 2.74 earned run average for starters. Second are the Braves at 2.83. Third, the Guardians at 3.04. Let's see. What do we have? Then the next team is the Tampa Bay Rays at 3.45. So right there, you get to realize why the Rays are playing so much better. And they're right there in it this year. Okay, I can hear you asking. You're asking already. Since I hounded it last year and we made it like a podcast theme of blown saves, the imploding bullpens, right? Well, where do we start so far this year? The teams with the best relievers and earned run average so far this year have been the Texas Rangers, surprisingly at number 1 with a ERA of 2.82 for the bullpen. The Giants is second with an ERA of 3.03. The Braves at 3.08. The Mariners at 3.31. And the Reds at 3.38. That's our top 5. Who's the bottom 5? Wow, the Astros have really tanked this year. They have the worst bullpen with an ERA of 6.27. And the Angels are next with 5.58. The disappointing Royals are at 5.38. The Twins at 5.30. And the 5th worst, but our first National League team, the Cardinals at 5.20. So, I mean, you got to say, where are the typical worst teams? Like the Nationals, the White Sox, and the Rockies. The Rockies Holy shit. Are they tired of losing? They have the 9th best bullpen so far to start the season. Now, that's beyond the word huge from a difference from last year. Now, the A's, they blew a shitload of games last year, and they're about in the middle of the pack this year. Same as the Orioles. Remember, they started really bad last year. But the big surprise is the White Sox. They're 22nd in baseball with their bullpen ERA. And it might not sound like much to you, but they've improved tremendously. And if you're a regular listener of us, you know the podcast's big topic from last year was the imploding bullpen. So has it really improved this year? We kind of projected there would be a lot of names changed in the bullpens. A lot of teams were signing free agents to compensate for bad performances or just hoping that these players would perform different on their team. So some are better, some are worse, but the most surprising teams early this year are the A's and the White Sox because they both lead the Major League Baseball in save opportunities. They've had 19 save opportunities with 10 saves. Now, this is a good and a bad thing. To have a save opportunity, you got to be winning. So the A's and the White Sox have been competitive in almost, on a lot of games. They've really had the opportunity to win. 19 save opportunities, but they both only have 10 saves. So what does it really mean? The bullpens have already blown 9 games. In the first 30 days of the season, the A's and White Sox have blown 9 games from their bullpen. That's amazing. It's the first month of the season, and we are potentially talking about a loss of 9 games. While the A's and White Sox are struggling around 500, and I may have to stop calling the White Sox the shit Sox because they are very surprising this year. The Padres have had 18 save opportunities, and they are known as one of the best bullpens in baseball, with one of the best relievers in Mason Miller. Yet, they have a .415 bullpen ERA while blowing 6 games themselves. The Cardinals have blown 6 games. The Marlins have blown 6 saves. You know, we talked about the Nationals bullpen for years. And they struggle with their pitching, both starting and relieving. Well, this year, they have an ERA of 5 from their bullpen, and it's a major improvement for them. But they've already blown 10 saves as well. And the Diamondbacks have blown 9 saves. Well, we've talked about the Yankees' starting pitchers and their new bullpen, but is it better? Well, I guess you could say they've only blown 5 saves. But for a first-place team in the first month of the season, ouch. You know, that could be deadly. They've blown 5 saves for a first-place team. So, who right now has the best bullpen? Well, the least imploding. You know, this is funny because the Mets statistically have the number 1 bullpen for not blowing saves. But the Mets have been so bad, they have no opportunities to blow games. Seriously, they have 6 opportunities for a save. And how bad have they played? They've converted 2 of the 6. So they've blown 4 saves. Now the Phillies, that's another team. They haven't been in position for a save yet because they've been playing so crappy. They've blown 5 out of 7 save opportunities. Same thing with the Astros. they've blown 6 of 7 opportunities. The Giants have blown 6 of 9 opportunities. And the Twins bring up the literal rear in this statistic, blowing 5 out of 9 opportunities. Now, so far, we've talked a little about the Braves. Now, let's talk about the Braves and their save opportunities. They've converted 11 of 12 save opportunities. And with a team ERA of 3.08 from the bullpen, their bullpen has pitched about 111 innings, which is not that bad at this time of the year. The turnaround for the Braves has been hitting. They have not hit like this since 2023. The Braves are leading the league in, how about average? They're tied with the Dodgers, hitting 273 as a team. The Cubs are second at 261. The Astros haven't stopped hitting. They're hitting 260. But their pitching is so bad, they're blowing games left and right. The Rockies are 5th in Major League Baseball this year, hitting at 254. Whoa, awesome improvement for them. But the Braves have been the most impressive looking so far. Currently, they have 4 hitters hitting over 300. Michael Harris is hitting 320. He disappeared last year. Ozzie Albies is hitting 317. Another person who was non-existent last year. Drake Baldwin, definitely their new young star, is hitting 307. And Matt Olson is also hitting 300 at 306. Now, most teams don't have one 300 hitter, and the Braves are smoking with 4 of them. So, who has had a disappointing start so far? Yeah, Ronald Acuna Jr. He's hitting only 241, and he's not helped the team much this year. Austin Riley has still been inconsistent and is still batting below 200. Now, Mostradamus, on our previous episode when we talked about this coming year, was big on Austin Riley. So we'll continue to watch him. If the Brave starters right now, who have been 14-6 with a 3.04 ERA in 166 innings, have been awesome, what will they be like when Spencer Strider returns? Now, Spencer Strider has made 2 starts in the minor leagues at AAA Gwinnett Stripers. He threw 4 1/3 with giving up only 1 hit, 8 Ks, 1 walk in his first start. In his second start against the same Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs with 7 Ks. So he's starting to look pretty sharp. Oh, I got to say, though, this is unbelievable. Well, now, usually when a star player rehabs in a game at your minor league facility, attendance is jacked. And that's the game to go to because you can see a star player down close. But the Gwinnett Stripers are so lame, they don't get any attendance boost from having Spencer Strider start. In his 2 starts, they had attendance of 2,146 in his first start and 2,501 in the second start. That's a AAA team, but they don't draw shit. It's amazing how this team really doesn't draw shit seriously. Now, we've talked about minor league baseball before and the great experience it is. But if you want to see a superior minor league baseball experience and you're in the Georgia area, well, you need to take a road trip. Skip the Stripers. Travel up to Nashville to see the Sounds. They're an affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, and they are one of the best experiences to see a game. They average over 6,500 fans per game and more on weekends. And First Horizon Park is a classic stadium. It's exciting. It's much better fan experience over the Stripers. Now, I don't even know why the Braves still have a team there. They really are so lame. It's a shame. So, all right, getting back to the Braves. When will Spencer Strider come back? Now, I'm sure Braves fans are counting the days. So that's most surprising team so far in the first 30 days. The Atlanta Braves. What a difference a year makes. Okay, so I know it's tough to stay on track here after, starting to talk about 30 days of coverage. But we'll try. We've been bouncing around a lot. Let's see, there's a lot to cover. What about the American League Central? I'm not really surprised yet. I'm still disappointed, as I continuously say now, of the piss-poor start of the Royals. And they're sitting under 500. I'm trying to play better lately. The Twins don't surprise. Chicago, yes, I'm very surprised at how competitive they are right now. And they're sitting around 500. The whole division is sitting around 500. So anyone could really win this year. Now, moving on to the American League West, here's another one. Nostradamus selected the A's as the surprise team to win this division. So they're kind of leading just a little bit over 500. The Texas Rangers are flirting with 500. The Angels and Houston Astros are bringing up the rear. I'm putting my cards on the A's. Moving on to the National League East, we've talked about the Braves at 22-9. Right now is the top team in the National League. But the Marlins continue to play well and are competitive, but unfortunately with no fans in that stadium. The Washington Nationals have played much better this year as well. And the two most disappointing teams in the East have to be the Phillies and the Mets, who absolutely suck. Now, were you surprised that the Phillies fired their manager so early? I'm surprised the Mets haven't done anything. I'd fire the GM David Stearns, who is a waste product, and I don't know why anybody is surprised by this team on what he put together. Well, moving on to the National League Central, this is probably the next most competitive division in baseball besides the American League East. The Reds are playing well at 19-11, and they're even 7-3 in the last 10. They're a fun team to watch. The Cubs, in this division, anybody who gets hot throughout the year could carry it. So let's watch that one. The National League West, I don't think there's going to be any impact on this division, but the Dodgers. What's surprising so far is that the San Diego Padres, with all the issues they have internally, they're playing pretty damn good right now, but I think they're over their heads. I don't think it's going to last. So that's it for the teams. What about the individuals this year? As far as consistency, Vladimir Guerrero has started out pretty damn good this year. He's hitting .358, but he's making an awful lot of contact this year. He's only got 2 home runs and 15 RBIs, which is pretty a light month for him. But the numbers will come. Yordan Alvarez is tearing it up in Houston. He's hitting .355. He's got 11 home runs, 26 RBIs. Big surprise in New York has got to be Ben Rice of the Yankees. He's already got 10 home runs with 23 RBIs. He's hitting .327. A couple of new names that are in here is Kevin McGonigal, the shortstop from Detroit. Holy crap, this kid's for real. He's fun to watch. He's hitting .333, scoring runs. He's got 22 runs scored already. Very impressive. Also as far as hitting this year, Michael Harris of the Braves. He sucked last year, to just be honest. What the hell happened to him last year? He couldn't even hit. Well, he's back to hitting. And the same thing with Ozzie Albies. But once again, don't forget, Albies is playing for a contract. So when a player plays for a contract, they put up some numbers. Over in Tampa Bay, Chandler Simpson has been exciting the first month of the season. What am I talking about? He's kept them alive. Now, names we really haven't heard a lot this year. There's a few of them out there. There's one name that we're all familiar, and he's starting to play better. Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals. He's back up to 297, and he's starting to hit. Riley Green has been hitting for the Tigers early this year. But I think the biggest name right now and one of the most impactful players, surprisingly, has been from Cincinnati, Sal Stewart of the Reds. Have you had a chance to catch that name yet or see him play? Damn, I was lucky. I caught him last year in the minors, and he hit everything. Right now, he's got 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, which I think he's on the verge of making a record for the first 30 days of a rookie producing RBIs. He's hitting 288, and he's making a huge impact with the Reds. One of the things that I've noticed is that Ellie De La Cruz, he seems different. There's something about him this year. Maybe it's the protection that he's getting from Sal Stewart. I think Cruz, we can expect him to have a big year. He looks like he wants to really reduce his strikeouts, even more so from the previous year. Less swinging and missing. Let's keep our eyes on him, because this could be a major breakout for him. We've talked about players as far as when they start their careers, years 1 through 4, and how they ramp up and become stars. Are they good? Are they great? Are they Hall of Fame potential? It's always interesting. And Ellie De La Cruz is going to make the biggest jump of his career this year in stability and consistency. I'm not looking for him to steal 70 bases. I'm looking for a consistent, dependable Ellie De La Cruz that could make a difference for the Cincinnati Reds. Well, that's been our first 30 days. So much to talk about. Home runs. You got to talk about home runs, right? Holy shit. So, Aaron Judge has had a pretty good start of the season. Holy shit, he's got 12 home runs, leading MLB. And like I said, what's going on with Chicago at Murakami? He's got 12 home runs. And Yordan Alvarez has got 11 home runs. Once again, Ellie De La Cruz with 10, Ben Rice with 10, Mike Trout with 10, and James Wood with 10. We all got to root for Mike Trout to stay healthy. We'll see what happens. Those are the leaders right now, but we've got lots of names on this board as far as home run leaders. Gunnar Henderson. Oh, crap. He's hitting for power, but he can't hit for shit for averages here. I don't know what's going on with him. The big guy in Seattle, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, he's been struggling early, but recently we're seeing him come alive. Looking at all the different stats that we have available to us now, it's really so much. You pick your favorite ones. I admit I'm old school. I still like the traditional stats. I still think a lot that the traditional stats make sense. I don't really give a shit about swing speed. That doesn't make a difference at all. You could be swinging and producing 111 miles per hour off the bat and making contact once a week. So who gives a shit how fast, how hard you hit the ball? What I am surprised at right now in Major League Baseball is we only have 6 players with an OPS of 1,000 or better. I kind of find that amazing. As far as the top 5 names, Yordan Alvarez, like I said, he's tearing it up in Houston. Ben Rice, Ildemaro Vargas. Wow, there's a name. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but he's number 3 in the league. Matt Olson is number 4. And the 5th highest OPS in the majors so far this year is Aaron Judge. And that's it. Wow. So the first 30 days, I don't think it's time to panic. Even if you're a Met fan or a Philly fan, and don't get too excited if you're a Cincinnati Red fan or a Pirates fan. There's been a lot of excitement the first 30. So let's see what the next 30 gives us. I know. We may have left off a lot of players starting off hot, but we're not ready to all jump on the bandwagon too fast. So I think that's a wrap on today's show. We went a little over, but there's a lot to talk about, right? I hope you enjoyed our 9th episode of Season 3 of Mo's World, the baseball podcast. We are in our new in-season schedule for releasing new episodes every other Friday. So our next episode will air on May 15th, 2026. Each episode is approximately 20 minutes long. When we have a new section in the podcast, if you scope it out on the net, you can now support us and become a subscriber. We'll have shout-outs and contests and more to come for those who do. Thank you for listening, and please spread the word to your friends. In the meantime, ask yourself, whose world is it? It's Mo's World.